A common question I get asked here at the clinic is, does hypnosis work with children? And the answer is something that I think you'll find very fascinating. So stay to the end of this video where I'll be giving you a link to a page on my website where you can find out more about that and book an appointment for your child if you wish. Hi, my name is Paul Hunter, a clinical hypnotherapist here at Cork Hypnosis Clinic, where I regularly help children of all ages to overcome problems like, for instance, nail biting, anxiety, bedwetting, various different child-related issues that really affect a child's life badly. And using hypnosis, we can help them significantly to have a better quality of life. When parents contact me to help their children overcome a problem, one of the typical questions is, what age group do you work with? There's no cut and dried answer to that. And really, it's about observing your child yourself. Are they like a jack-in-the-box, constantly jumping around the place, can't sit still? They might have difficulty going into hypnosis. But if the child is a little bit calmer, can hold attention for a while, then they'll probably succeed at going into hypnosis and solving their problem. So really, it's more about, is the child able to pay attention? When they're not able to pay attention, when they're not able to obey an instruction and keep obeying the instruction, like keeping their eyes closed, well, that's going to be difficult and probably won't work. Typically, I don't work with children younger than around about 9 or 10 years of age, because around about 9 or 10 years of age, they tend to be a little bit calmer, a little bit more capable of holding attention, and in that case, we tend to get really good results. Now, another important issue, of course, is whether the child actually wants to do therapy, because in some cases, children are brought along by their parents against their will. You see, the parents want to fix the problem. But in one particular case recently, a child came along to see me and he made it quite clear he didn't want to be here. That is a problem because he's not going to cooperate with my suggestions. So the answer to, does hypnosis work on children is yes, but a couple of conditions have to be satisfied. They've got to be able to pay attention, and they've got to want that change themselves. It can't be where the parent wants the change for the child, but the child doesn't want it at all. That just simply won't work. So I always encourage parents, when you're talking to them about the idea of coming along to see me for therapy, give them some power in the decision-making process. Give them that option of saying no. So tell them, hey, there's a guy here who can help you to overcome this problem. Explain about it, but don't push them too hard to go to therapy. Ask them their opinion. Would you like to do this? Would you be okay with doing this? If they're, maybe, well, that's a good starting point. But if they say, no, I don't want to do that, well, that's probably not going to work. The funny thing about hypnosis is that most kids are in hypnosis quite a lot. Have you ever noticed your child maybe engrossed in doing something, maybe reading a book, playing a video game, something like that, and they don't even hear you? They don't hear what you say. It's like as if they're in a trance. Well, actually, they are in a trance. Children find it a hell of a lot easier to go into trance than adults do. So therefore, hypnosis is ideally suited to most children. Once again, as I said earlier, as long as they're able to fix their attention on something, and as long as they're able to obey instruction. And I know as a parent myself, it's very difficult to watch your child when they have a problem. My son a long time ago suffered from bullying while he was at school. That was horrible to watch as a parent. I wanted to help him, but I really didn't know what to do, because the traditional advice of, just don't do anything about it, tell the teacher, that wasn't working. And he was suffering, and I didn't know what to do. I know as a parent, if you watch your children having problems, it's hard. You want those solutions for them. But in wanting those solutions for them, you've got to be very careful that you're not trampling all over their right to say no. The advice I would give to parents would be, when you're broaching the subject of the child coming along to see me for therapy, just do it gently. It's really important not to trample all over their right to say no. So I would always kind of sell it to the child. I would say, hey, imagine what it's going to be like when this problem is fixed. Wouldn't that be great? And then leave it with them. Don't ask them to come along, or don't assume that they're going to come along. Just leave it with them and say to them, you know what I'll do? I'll check in with you again tomorrow morning and see, are you up for going to see that therapist? You've always got to respect the child's right to say no. And if you broach the topic gently enough, hopefully most children will be cooperative and they will come along. But if they've set their mind against going to therapy, please don't force them, because that will be a waste of our time and your money, because we're not going to get anything done if that's the case. These days, some of the most common problems that children face are anxiety and bullying. And I can't even tell you how many children I've seen over the past couple of years with those problems. Hypnotherapy for children is a brilliant way of enhancing their confidence, making them feel more powerful, and helping them to get beyond things like bullying, helping them to be confident about situations, so that instead of being anxious, that now they think, yeah, I've got this. One of the really great things about doing hypnotherapy with children is they haven't had years and years of repetition of the problem, so it's not embedded as deeply as some problems that I help adults with. I mean, for instance, if I see a 40 or 50-year-old person who has a bad habit, it's quite possible they may have been doing this for 25 or 30 years. With a child, that's not true. Maybe it's only been happening for a year or two, which means it's not as deeply embedded in their mind, and it means that therapy can work faster. And another question that's probably on your mind is, will I be alone in the room with the child? And I always answer that by saying, under no circumstances. I will always absolutely insist there's an adult in the room. But I do fully understand that children sometimes need a little bit of privacy to say what they need to say, and maybe they might be embarrassed to say it in front of their parent. So typically I ask parents to bring earbuds or headphones along, and maybe just listen to something from their phone by Bluetooth to their earbuds, so that they can't hear what the child is saying to me, but yet the child is completely safe because they're in the room. And if your child is nervous about that idea, you can reassure them with that and tell them they will never be alone in the room with me. The other thing that you can tell your child as well, if they are a bit anxious about coming along to see me, is that I try to be good crack during sessions with children. I try to crack a joke, have a bit of fun, just to put them at ease and make them realize that this whole process of changing can be a lot of fun. So if your child is struggling with some problem, maybe like anxiety or bullying or low confidence or something like that, Well, why not click on the link just below this YouTube video in the description area? And that'll take you to the homepage of my website where you can have a good route around and find the particular problem that your child is suffering from. That'll give you more information, more resources, and most importantly, ways in which to contact me to schedule an appointment if you wish.